Hello, in Malta we're doing a couple of mirrors. This is a Florentine mirror, and if you go on the internet and you put in gold mirror Florence, you will find this type of decoration which has been going on for 200 or 300 years, and in Malta and in England and elsewhere you will find many small mirrors with this frame. You will find many small corner shelf units, small little sort of wall units to hold clocks or beast figures with the same thing. You'll find frames, often with holy oil paintings with turquoises and pinks, Madonnas and other scenes, icons and things like that. So this is 100% Florentine, and if you go online now, there is actually a factory which makes the same mirror as this one. It's the same thing. So in the 1700s and 1800s, up to the 1930s, these would have been made of wood. And there would have been warehouses full of old men whacking out pine with a hammer and chisel in poorly lit rooms at all hours, making these components. And in Florence, the mirrors and the picture frames were made in components, so they wouldn't have taken one piece of wood. They would have made two, and then stuck them all together. So if you look at a Florentine mirror of a certain age, they will be made of component kit pieces which are stuck together. And when you look at the back of one, usually you will find a yellow paint which is used to create the bowl for the gilding, and I suspect they wouldn't have bothered to use a normal paint on the back without the glue for the gilding. They would have just done the whole thing in the yellow bowl. You see lots and lots of pictures, picture frames, lots of mirrors with the yellow all around. It's a good sign it's Florentine. In fact, if it is got yellow everywhere, it nearly always is Florentine. So they had a mass production technique of making the frames, and you see these little frames very nicely gilded. You see them in America, in the antiques markets in America. You see them in England, you see them in monasteries in England and churches in England. You see them in Malta, you see them all over the place. And they have this scroll work, bigger and smaller. And it sticks out away from the wall, it's not flat. And they're pierced. This is the thing, this is pierced, what's called pierced. And you can go through it. So it's really beautiful stuff, very hard to make. So if it was wood, they would carve it, they would apply gesso, and they would use a dozen coats of gesso. And the first coat of gesso would have clay, or ground clay, plaster with rabbit glue. And the first coat has to have more rabbit glue than clay, so it sticks. And then as they add subsequent layers, they change the mixture so it has more chalk, more clay than glue. And it's applied hot because the hide glue, the rabbit glue, has to be applied hot. And because the final layer has a lot of chalkiness in it, they can sand it down, and they do sand it down. And you'll notice it's quite rounded and smooth. And then they add a bowl, which is clay and glue, which will have a colour, and you can pick any colour you want. You can pick a yellow bowl, you can pick a red bowl, a green bowl, a black bowl, a white bowl. And at the moment in these factories, they're making red bowl mirrors and furniture, and they're not gilding them, they're selling them in the red. This has a red bowl. The bowl has glue in it. It allows water gilding, and most of them are gilded. And they're gilded usually with gold leaf. It's water gilding, and really much more than you realise, gold paint, which is a dust paint. This one here has an original glass which is bevelled, and in England the taste is to have mirrors with speckling. It means it's not new, because they make mirrors in China now, which are in all the shops in England, and people don't want them, they want speckled glass. You can fake speckled glass. It's very hard to fake speckled glass. If you fake it, it means you have to put paint strip on the silvering. It's very easy to put too much on. It's very easy for it to be irregular. That is proper antique glass. So I would say that mirror was made in 1940, and the mirror on this occasion has a hanging hook on the side, and it's meant to hang that way, not that way. But I think it will sell better hung that way. And if you see a mirror that way round, it was designed to go in a modern house. So you have all these modern houses in the 50s and 60s in Italy that have a sideboard with plastic trim with formica. They'd have a mirror, and there was not enough room to have it going that way. They would hang them this way. Same in England, but not in this design, obviously. But I think it's better that way. So this here, you looking at it, I can't tell. I couldn't tell whether it was made of resin, plaster, or wood. This though is made of plaster, and inside each scroll there is a wire, and on the back there is a piece of plywood. So it's quite late, but it's a nice item, and it has this mirror with speckles, which is desirable. It's bevelled. You see a mirror that's bevelled, it's just a clue that it's a bit more interesting than a unbevelled mirror. So with the Florentine mirrors, you can have, as I say, the beautiful carved wooden ones. They do often lovely, beautiful little tiny pictures. They do larger items like this, furnishings items, and just be aware these can be wood or resin or plaster. Thank you.